Good day. So I'm joining you here today, just a really quick 15-minute workout, which is perfect if you're coming back from having some time off, maybe due to an injury, maybe surgery, something like that, or you're just starting your fitness journey now and you want to ease into things. This is the perfect way to do it. It's only 15 minutes, but it is high intensity, not high impact, high intensity. And I'm going to show you all the variations you need to be successful in this program, no matter where you are in your journey, whether you're just starting out or whether you consider yourself more of a kind of a fitness junkie and you want a really hard HIIT workout, you can do that as well. All right, let's go. So the first thing we're going to do is step ups. So you can utilize a bench. This is quite a high bench, so I'm going to be really tired. It's going to be difficult, but that's the choice I'm making. So we're just going to do 15 step ups with each leg, making sure we're putting that foot fully on top of the bench and making sure that we're stepping down very close behind the bench. We don't want a big jump off the back. We want a controlled step off. I'm gonna have to keep a little bit of attention so that I know exactly what I'm doing here. How many on each? I don't want to do too many or too little. So switched legs, working on leg number 2, already getting that heart rate up. Now, like I said, you could do a lower bench. You could even do no bench at all. Just a step forward, step back, make a little march on the spot. This is getting that heart rate up really quickly. Just running my arms with it. Whew. Yeah. So there was 15 each leg. Now we're gonna do 15 push-ups. One option, behind the bench. Another option might be utilizing a wall. Maybe you're just getting into fitness or just recovering. A little less pressure on the shoulders that way. Or you could be on the floor. 3 levels of variation here. Knees down, butt up. Less intense. Walk the knees away. Keep that butt lower than the shoulders. Or challenge on those toes. Next, we're gonna do lunges. So we're not using any weight. You could use a couch, a chair for balance. If you like, we're gonna do 15 each leg. So important to make sure that our knee is in line right over our heel, right over our ankle. You're pushing that knee out over your second toe, making sure the knee is not planing in, but pressing out to keep it in line. That's 15. So I'm taking a very large step back. It's giant. My back toe is on the floor. My heel is perpendicular to the floor. I'm going to start with just a tiny little tuck here so that I make sure that knee is right over my shoulders, right under my shoulders. That way, when I drop down, if I drop right down to the floor, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. That should be your measure. How you make sure that you're completely in line. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to show you a couple things that people tend to do incorrectly. Really easy to do incorrectly on these. One major thing is to tip forward, collapse forward. We want to get that posture nice and high. Another thing people do is they're too close. So look at my knees at the bottom, less than 90 degrees. And then the final mistake people tend to make is pushing this knee forward from the toe. We need that knee right over the ankle. And I really need you to think about pushing into the heel as you push up, not pushing into that back toe. That's round 1. We're doing 2 rounds of each set. So this is set 1. So we're back to those step ups. I'm puffing, my heart rate is up. Again, reminder to stay right in the middle of that bench or that step, whatever you're using. Remember, I said we could do this on the floor. I'm just stepping back, forward, and back. That is just fine. And if you're getting too tired, this is a really good option. I'm changing legs up, pushing off that heel, driving into the heel, really making sure I'm firmly planting that foot and driving it down. So this workout is designed to do two things. Get that heart rate up, so we want to be burning some fat, burning some calories, losing track. But it's also designed for muscular endurance and functional strength. So that would be 15. Back to my push-ups. I'm gonna do a few here on the bench, making sure at the bottom of the movement, my elbows are right over the wrist, 90 degrees. Move to the floor, remember this option. Bum in the air. This is a nice ease into the push-up. Walk those knees a little farther away, getting a little more difficult. Or pop up on those toes, increase that level of difficulty. Back to our lunges. Now you could use anything you have around, maybe a broom handle, just for a little extra balance, especially if you're easing back into this. So I've got this pole, my bar, lined up with my back leg. And that's just a really nice way to give me a little extra balance, still doing the exact same movement, driving into that front heel. We're activating the glutes here. Not pushing into the back toe. We want to activate the glutes by driving into that front heel, and that is super effective, working that glute max. Other side. Again, very conscious that I've got a 90-degree angle front and back. That back heel is lifted, so that back toe, or the back foot, the sole of the foot, is perpendicular. Pushing into that heel as I drive up. That's how we activate the glute, really isolating it. Good. All right. So that is set one. We have 2 sets left to go. Just gonna grab some water. So like I was saying, I was talking about functional strength and muscular endurance. So that functional strength is to prepare us for everyday living. Make sure that we are strong in everything that we do every day. Why? Longevity. We're moving into air squats. So I've got my feet a little more than hip distance apart. I'm driving my hips back and down. This is very important, back and down, because look, my knees never go further forward than my toes. And that's what I want. Our knees are a hinge joint. We don't want them to go farther than our toes. That's dangerous. It's too hard on our knees when we are bearing our body weight. They are not made to go farther than that. Again, I'm pushing into my heels, driving my hips back. So that's 15. Dips. Couple things we can do on this one. I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see it better. So if we want a modified dip, we bring our feet, maybe our hands 6 inches behind our bum. Our fingers are pointing towards our bum. And we're just lowering our upper body by bending those elbows and straightening them, driving into the heels. This is a modified dip. still feeling it in those triceps for sure. I recommend doing it this way. I just wanted to give you that side angle. So my bum is perched on the very edge of the front, and I'm just bending and straightening those elbows, working my triceps. Bring my hands a little farther forward, curl them around the bench. This is a full dip now. I'm not using my feet. It's all triceps, bending and straightening the arms. I'll talk a little bit more about form next round. So now we're going into a plank. So I've got my elbows right under my shoulders. I'm going to lift up into a full plank position. That would be on my toes. And I'm going to lift one leg and the other. So this is a little challenging. If you want, you can be on your knees, lifting and extending one leg and then the other. If that's still a little too much, you're just going to lift one knee and the other knee. One knee and the other knee. You are still working that core. Not as intensely as if I'm in a full plank position, but we want to work up. We want to focus on perfect form first. So I am doing 15, kind of losing track because I'm showing you the modifications and talking, but you get the gist. All right, so back to my air squats. So again, shoulder width apart, toes turned out ever so slightly, and I want my butt to get as low as my knees. Now on this one, I'm not standing up fully. I'm staying in this little pulse position, really loading those legs, those glutes. Working a little bit harder. And 15, yeah, feeling that. Back to the dips. Remember the modifications. Now, if you're doing a full dip, we want to make sure those elbows are going straight back. Straight back, not wide. There should be no airflow under your armpits. The closer your feet are to that bench, the easier this is. If I want more intensity, I'm going to walk that out. Oh yeah, that makes it a lot harder. Walk it in, finish off here. I'm moving between those variations to keep myself challenged, but not stop. Good. Okay, back to the plank leg lift. I'm gonna face you on this one. Line up. We've got the elbows right under the shoulders. We want to keep our gaze, eye gaze, looking down at our hands. Now, why do I cue that? Because as soon as you start to look at your legs, your butt is going to lift and your back is going to round out. We don't want that. We want a long, strong back with our ears off of our shoulders and our hips level to the floor. No twisting. Beautiful. I think that's 15. Clearly losing some track, but that's okay. So that's second set of round 2. We got one round left to go. I take about a minute rest in between the sets. No rest in between exercises. So we want to keep that heart rate up, just recover enough that we can keep going. Now the next move that we're going to do is a wall sit. Just going to move this curtain in. Oh, maybe I'm not. No, I'm not going to move the curtain in. I'll lean against the curtain so that you can see it perfectly. Try not to tear them down. So on this wall sit, we're going to walk our feet away from the wall and bring our butt so that it's level with the knees. And I'm pushing into those heels. I'm activating my quads. I need to be timing this one. So I'm going to grab my phone for a timer. Make sure that I'm not cheating. So we've got 30 seconds on each exercise. And we are starting the clock when we get into position. So I want that butt as low as my knees. There's my start. Now, if 30 seconds is a little too much for your first round, you start with what you can. 10 seconds, 20, whatever it is, you do what you can, take a break, jump back in until you hit that 30-second mark. But you can definitely stand up in between if you need to. Consciously thinking about pushing into those heels. This is a quad workout. We are in a wall sit position. That is 30 seconds. All right, reset. Now we're just doing a little bit more core training. We're doing bicycles, and this is another one that has a ton of variations that you can do. So we're gonna start knees over hips, feet same height as the knees. As one leg extends, we lift and twist with control to the other side. Now this is the full expression of the movement. This is pretty tough. You can tap those toes a little closer to the body, and that makes it a little bit easier, and you could even just work the upper body or just work the lower body. But I do want a controlled movement. We're not flinging. And we want to keep that lower back on the floor throughout those. That went by fast. Moving on to a side plank position. Again, tons of variations. Easiest way to do your side plank is to set up that knee on the floor. Leg is bent at a 90-degree angle. I've got my arm right over my shoulder. If I wanted a little extra help, I could put it here. I just don't want my hips to roll forward. I need those hips stacked. Maybe you want a little more challenge. Lift that leg. Still got this bottom knee lined up right under my top knee. Okay, I'm gonna switch. Now this time I'm gonna show you the full expression of the movement. So instead of bending that bottom leg, I'm going to stack my legs, making sure my hips are in line. I could bring this one leg forward. So in a scissors or in a stacked position, whatever's working best for you today. Ease into things, experiment with the different options that we provide. Of course, if I wanted to, I could lift this top leg, make it that much more challenging. And that's our 30 seconds. So back to our wall sit. Final round already. Already done. There we go. I didn't time this to see if it's exactly 15 minutes. So I might be off a little bit in my calculations. We can always add a third round to each set if we prefer. Pushing into those heels. Drop my butt a little bit lower. I could hold my hands out. A little more challenging. I'm even slightly lifting my toes just to remind myself, I want to dig those toes in. I want to be pushing into the heels. That's our 30 seconds. Back to bicycles. Remember all those options that you have. Okay, so this would be just twisting side to side. Nice ease into it. Maybe I want to lift my legs. Makes it a little harder. Adding that little tap in the heel, very close to my bum. And then the full expression, lifting and twisting. Don't forget about that upper body. We want to make sure we are getting upper and lower body integration for a challenge. Final set. Side plank. Well, let's go top to bottom. Option 1, a little extra help with that hand. Option 2, keep it right over the shoulder. Don't let it pull you back. Don't have it in front. Don't have it up here. Straight over the shoulder. Maybe I want a little more. with that leg. Scissor or stacked. So those are your options. And then I could add that leg lift. Yeah. So that was everything. Switch to the other side. One thing I didn't mention is how important it is to have that elbow aligned right under the shoulder. We don't want it way up here or way in here. Perfectly aligned, so it's really good to use the camera or a mirror. And I'm gonna think about pushing from the bottom up. You're working your bottom oblique in this one, not the top. The bottom is pushing up. Good. Whew. Yeah, almost done. Excellent. So that is like just a quick little HIIT workout that you can utilize in any way you want. Maybe it's because me heading to a concert tonight, had to squeeze in a quick workout, wanted to feel good. Didn't have a lot of time, so perfect, 15 minutes. Got my heart rate up, feel like I definitely strengthening my body, giving myself a little stretch, quad stretch, little chest stretch because we did work the chest and the shoulders. Now, just to repeat what we did 15 step-ups, 15 push-ups, 15 lunges, 2 times total, 1 minute rest, then 15 air squats, 15 dips, 15 plank leg lifts, and then a minute rest. We did that twice, and then a minute rest, and then our third round, 30-second wall sit, 30-second bicycle, 30-second side plank each side 2 times. That's it. Quick little workout, good way to ease into things, or if you just need a quick blast before you go on with your day. Thanks for joining me. There'll be lots more videos being posted over the upcoming months with various modalities. We're going to use bar, we're going to use weights, no weight workouts, body weight only, cardio focused, functional